Gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
What's going on? What's going on to all my embraces? Y'all know what it is. It's Monday night, and you know what that means. Embrace the Grace and Gary D on these YouTube streets talking about these hot topics. So with no further ado, I'm going to bring up Gary D because that is what seems to be my permanent co-host. He ain't going anywhere. So, and I'm glad to have you every week, every Monday night, same place, same station. But let me introduce myself. My name is Grace from Embrace the Grace. And my channel is about having the hard conversations, the necessary conversations to create growth, to promote healing, and just to learn and become a better version of ourselves. So we do talk with respect. We do not display any sign language. So anybody that wants to come up here, please speak your piece, put your 2 cents in, no matter how uncomfortable you may think. Me and Lee can take it. We from New York. We got y'all. Okay, so, and you can find me, of course, on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Snapchat. So you can find me anywhere. If you guys have any ideas or things you want me to talk about and bring up, feel free to email me or IG me. I'm easy to find. Everything is in Embracing the Grace or Embrace the Grace. And also small business owners, if you have any products or any services that you want me to give you a shout out, let me know. I wanna give y'all flowers now. Okay, and let's get this money flowing with any new businesses, or if you've reached a hiatus and you need some more clients, you better catch me now while I'm small, because when I make it big, and I will, I'm gonna have to charge y'all to sponsor on the show. So I'm just letting y'all know now, get in where you fit in right now. But anyway, without any further ado, I got my co-host Gary D. Gary, let everybody know where we can find you and what you about.
What's up, Grace? Hey, everyone. This is Gary D, co-hosting here with the fabulous Embrace the Grace. So a little bit about me. I am president of Boardwalk Global Media. We do a couple of podcasts. Our main podcast is The Real Discussion, which normally comes on a Friday night from 8 p.m. Eastern Time to 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We're on Facebook Live, YouTube, and all the other platforms. You could find us on Facebook, The Real Discussion, Instagram, The Real Discussion, YouTube, Boardwalk Global Media. And I just want to, thank Grace, for having me here, because we do have the real conversations and the real discussions here,
We sure do.
And this is good.
We sure do. We don't discriminate, Gary. We talk about it all, don't we, huh? So tonight, and Gary, it's funny how this conversation or this topic came about. It was simply out of conversation, got a lot of family in from out of town because my awesome niece graduated college, and it's just somebody just out of the blue, just like, do long relationships really work? And you know us, we're content creators, and we hear something that sparks us or moves us, we own it right away.
All right.
And not only that, I've been in a couple long distance relationships, and my son happens to be experiencing that right now. A long distance relationship. And I actually interviewed him, Gary.
Okay.
Just because he's 17, that does not mean I can't learn from him. And he gave some pretty grown up, mature answers. And I was pretty impressed. So I am going to, later on in the show, disclose his answers, and you will be pretty surprised. But Gary, let me ask you, how do you feel about long distance relationships, and have you ever been in one?
Oh, long distance relationships. You know, personally, I've never actually done a committed long distance relationship.
Why do you think is that?
Because my standards are so high, right? And I am there's my high standards, and then there's also I'm the type of guy that I want to be able to go and see you when I want to see you, right? Like, so I want to be able to, if we're gonna go out on a Saturday or a Sunday or at a moment's notice, I want to be able to do that. When you're in another state or even another country, it makes things a little bit challenging, right? So so that's kind of my thinking there. I do feel that though, when you're in a long distance relationship, you have to plan, right? So is it just gonna be, he's gonna be in LA and she's gonna be in DC, right? Mm-hmm. And it just keep like, at some point, are y'all gonna come together? Like, are we gonna move? Who's gonna move where? Is she gonna move to you? Is he gonna move to her? That type, there needs to be that conversation, right? Right. So I think that when you're doing it, there has to be a plan, right? There has to be a plan of the actual coming together. I have a friend that actually that used to live over in Australia.
Okay.
She had a long distance relationship with a guy over here in Tennessee.
Wow.
Right? But wait, it gets better. So, and she was telling me about it, and I'm like, if this guy is serious about you, here's what he's gonna do. And I laid it out for her. She called me, I don't know, like I think we spoke about 2 months, I think it was 2 months later. She's crying, but tears of joy, because everything I said that he should do, he did. Right?
Okay.
So,
wait, time out, Gary. Come on now, I'm gonna peel that onion. What were the things that you told your friend that guy should do? I mean, come on. Our racers want to know.
I said, look, I said, if he's real serious, because I explained a couple of things to her. I said, some guys, they don't have the means to travel international. So if he's in a good situation and he's able to come and see you, so that's one. But here's the thing. If he's real serious, he's going to want to plan, right? Mm-hmm. When he comes to see you, he's obviously he's going to want to meet you, see you, talk to you, and see if this is going to something's going to really work. So to make a long story short, I said, look, he's going to want to find out what you're doing in terms of your work. Like, what are the most important things? Your job, your kids, all those things. What do you need to do? What needs to happen to make you not worry and content? And he came with the plan and said, look, I want to move. I want us to be together. I want to move you to Tennessee. Here's the schools where my kids go. He had the whole plan laid out. You don't have to worry about working now. Here's X amount of dollars I got saved up. So you can, when you come, I don't want you to feel like you got to rush or anything. It was it was almost like a dream come true, right? Like, or a fairy
do you
tale.
realize, Gary, he made it comfortable for her and safe and secure.
And that's what's supposed to happen, right? And I give, when you're doing a long distance relationship, from a guy's standpoint, you want to make your lady feel secure and safe, right?
Hold on a second. Can you repeat that for the people in the back and in the peanut gallery?
You got jokes. You got.
I need, because I need a few people to hear that, understand that, and comprehend that. What is the man supposed to do in a long distance relationship, Gary?
He's supposed to make. The man is supposed to make his lady feel safe, right? Because if y'all at some point y'all are going to want to live together. So if you're like, for example, me, if I get into a long distance relationship and she has a child or two, that I'm going to come with the plan. Because see, and me, I'm spoiled. I want you next to me. I want you with me. So I'm going to make sure shit is right. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to doing a long distance relationship, the man is supposed to come with the plan to make the woman to make his lady feel safe and comfortable, right? So she knows that there's a roof over it, like there's stability, right? Where she knows that when she goes, shit's not gonna fall apart in 2 or 3 months. You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I understand what you're saying.
Because as much as I know some great stories, I know some horror stories where, unfortunately, those people didn't listen. They didn't listen to me. So,
but that's funny. A person that's never been in a long distance relationship can give solid input and advice to somebody. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to be a therapist or a psychiatrist or a person in a long distance relationship to give good advice. Okay? It's experience.
Right.
It's that you've experienced from other people. But hold
but
on.
Also once you understand relationships, like once you understand relationships and how people interact and the psychology, then, you could pretty much, understand what to do or what needs to be done.
Exactly. So let me get on the comments, Gary, real quick before they start stacking on me, because I don't have a moderator in here with me tonight. So Michelle said, "Hi, all." Michelle, my bell.
Oh, that's okay. That's a good friend of mine. Yeah.
Okay, so we got Gary peoples in here, and Gary peoples are my peoples, and my peoples are his peoples, and we all people. So that's how we do it. We all create a buffet table so we can all eat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your support. Go ahead and press that like button, subscribe, and share. And then Michelle came back and said, LOL. And then here we got PA Texas. It's been a minute, but thank you for coming. He says, well, I don't do long distance relationship. If I don't smell a woman every day, I can't get accustomed to her. And therefore, she's nothing but a pen pal. We already know what PA is, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, you better know now. He tell like it is, and he does tend to get a little X-rated. So, you know what I'm saying? And that's okay, because that's who he is. And then Smitty came in. Hey, how you doing? Salute. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. And then he said, like on the smash button. I appreciate it, Smitty. If you could just keep that going for me, because I'm trying to do the show, read the comments. Like, I don't have somebody running shit for me. I'm flying this airplane solo. Gary's next to me. He ain't got no seatbelt on, but he's strapped in anyway. We building this plane as we flying it. Oh, and PA said, I'm sober right now, so I'll keep it PG-13. All right. In a couple hours, though, we don't know about how that soberness is going to be. But somebody, please keep me posted on the Knicks game. I can't watch the Knicks game tonight, but I need them to win tonight. So please keep me posted on the score, just like after every quarter. Okay. So did you want me to pull up later? No, you could pull up whenever you want to pull up, Smitty. We gang. We part of that JVJ network, so we good. So I don't do long distance relationships. And with that being said, that I don't do long distance relationship, I tried it anyway. And of course, everything I thought that would happen happened. I don't do long distance relationships. I am the kind of person, especially one, I'm too old. I'm too old to do long distance relationships. I'm like you, Gary. If I want to see you, I want to see you. If I want to spend time with you, I want to spend time with you. If I want to go out on the weekend because I've been working hard all week, I want to see you. Or like PA say, I want to smell you. I want to touch you. I want to, I'm too old to be making plans, or I'm going to see you once a month. No, ain't nobody got time for that. I don't have time for that. And the reason being is that when I was in high school, my high school sweetheart, we was in a long distance relationship for almost 3 years. And that was hard. That was hard on me as a high school kid. Trying to stay faithful to somebody at 16, 17 years old, but we worked it out. We worked it out. He even flew down for my prom, and he was my prom date and everything. So it is possible, but things changed when we got to college.
Right.
Now I'm in college. I'm in school in Tallahassee. He's in school in Buffalo. He's a basketball player. And every time I would call his dorm, always had girls in the room. And I finally came to the realization, look, we too young for this long distance shit. I'm finally out my parents' house. I don't have no curfew. I can go out. You know what I'm saying? And do my thing. You're not trying to stay faithful. I don't care what day of the time I would call, there was always girls in the room. And I get it. You know how the athletes are, girls are coming and going, but
it's college. Come on.
Exactly. It is. So I broke it off. And we did our own thing, and it is what it is. And then the last long distance relationship that I tried was just recently, and it didn't work. It broke down. And when I was doing my research, I now have a better understanding why it broke down. And it kind of validated and confirmed my side of the story and my feelings about the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't wrong what I was feeling. So a lot of the research that I did today validated, and it was warranted. But neither here or there, it is what it is. We all live and learn. So let's get into the research real quick. And of course, I have a couple clips to go over so you guys can get different perspectives.
I think, when it comes to long distance relationship, both people have to want to make it work, right? And I think also too, what's the travel time, right? So are you traveling an hour away? Are you traveling 2 hours away? Do you have to get on a plane? I mean, I used to joke and say, if I got to travel more than 2 hours, it's not happening, right? So
what's funny, I wrote that on my final thoughts. No more than 3 hours. I put 3 hours. No more than 3 hours. Right. I won't do it.
I mean, see, 2 hours to me is realistic, because if I'm in New York and I don't know, she's in Atlanta, I could go there for the weekend. I could do that, right? Now, if she's in LA or Canada or somewhere, that's, you can't really, you don't have that flexibility, right?
You get it. That's a different time zone. That's 5 hours of travel time.
Exactly.
The tickets are more expensive.
Right. So I think that if it's, if it's 2 hours, about 2 hours by plane, then that works. Then that works, because I could do that. But all this other flying 5, 6, nah, it's not gonna happen.
I date this girl in Florida, so I used to fly there every other week, and once every other month. Long story short, last time I showed up in Florida, she was pregnant. And it wasn't mine.
Oh, wow.
Hot there.
Oh, shit.
And Toronto is a couple hours from New York. I've made that flight from LaGuardia to Canada. Okay, I mean, yeah, because then you got Buffalo, then you got Niagara Falls, and then, you got Canada there. I'm telling you, I'm not even doing 2 hours in a plane ride is okay. 2 hours in a car ride is okay. And that's it. So when y'all see me on these dating apps, I filter it. You cannot be more than 100 miles out, because I'm not doing it. You know, I get it. Everybody works Monday through Friday, but I want to be able to know that I can see you at least on the weekend. I mean, relationships are hard.
Right. But this is what I'm saying. Like, it's you know, especially if you're a touchy-feely person, you want to be able to tell your partner, well, look, I'm gonna come see you, I don't know, Saturday, right? I'm gonna come. So if you're 2 hours away, that's doable, right? You can do that, right? Mm-hmm. But if you're 4 or 5 hours away, that's good. It's like
you're gonna spend more time traveling than you are gonna be together.
Like, if it's 4 or 5 hours flying or travel time, now you're on that we'll see each other once a month shit, and that's not gonna work for me.
Barry said that shit's not gonna fly for, and I get it. We're like two peas in a pod. If you guys don't know, I'm a Scorpio, and if you guys know anything about Scorpios, we're passionate motherfuckers. We are, and again, at my age, I gotta get it when I want it, and I want it when I get it. Period. That's it. But look, a lot of these young folks can do it because they have a lot of technology that can keep you connected. You know, they got FaceTime, they got text, they got, I mean, just a whole bunch of shit. But to me, there's nothing, I'm old school. There's nothing like face-to-face interaction. There's nothing holding hands, you know, just hanging out at the park and just doing silly shit. Because in order to be connected to somebody, you got to be connected. You got to stay connected.
And you see that, you're making a great point there, because you're talking about intimacy and that type of connection, and you have to be close to the person. You have to be able to touch them, feel them, be around them, like you can only do so much on video chat, right? Right? I mean, it's great. It feels good, right? It looks good, but you can only do so much. Now, when you have that person in your presence, it's very different, right? It's very different. Everything is literally happened in real time there. And I think that's what we need to feel. And I think with the generation now, and probably this is why now that I'm thinking about it, I think this is why so many of their relationships is messed up, because there's no real intimacy and interaction, right? It's, oh, I'm going to text you, or let's FaceTime. Well, you know, how can you really build real intimacy with someone if you're not really touching them, feeling them, being around them, spending that quality time and stuff like that? And I think these young kids, they don't understand that.
No, they don't, because the options that if one is not picking up, they got the next one. So two things. I got PA Texas getting smart with me, talking about I'd embrace the grace. What you got to get when you want it. Oh, you know, we ain't got to, what's understood doesn't have to be explained, PA. So we just going to leave it at that. And when anybody who knows me knows what the hell about. So then you changed your name. Crab Cake call. I'm like, who is that? You're on mute.
Oh, my bad. Nah, it's Chef Appreciation. Nah, it's Chef Appreciation Month. So all my names for the next 30 days are going to be food related. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, well, go ahead and introduce yourself and let people know where we can find you. And then I have a comment that popped up, so I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. Crab Cake Carlton, go ahead.
Respect. All right. Well, of course, it's your boy Smitty. All right. You can definitely catch me on Smitty's Corner. You can catch me on IG if you want to. At a County King. But you spell county with a K, no spaces. You can also find me at JVJ Network every Fridays. Every Friday, you can catch me over there as well. So, other than that, I digress. My mic is muted. We'll be rocking out with Grace. What you got for me?
Okay, well, the conversation is about long distance relationships. How do you feel about long distance relationships, and have you had one, and will you do it again?
All right. So I had a long distance booty call before, right? So I drove, I did. So I drove a decent distance to like get some cheeks before, but it was funny, right? And so for the record, to answer your question, no. To me, that's ridiculous. People who want to have long distance relationships, what I've learned, all right, at least with the women, because I don't date men, of course, but with the women, what I've learned is that generally they want to have a long distance relationship because their reputation where they're from is so effed up. You see? Yeah.
You're saying that
So
they can't
it'd be
find
a lot
women
of
in their town.
well, not. I mean, like their reputation is messed up where they at. Like they really have ran through their town. So now is that, or they have a whole lot of stuff they're hiding. They don't want you to be real close to them. They don't want you to be able to just pop up on them, willy nilly or whatever, because you live in the same city. They like it. It actually makes them comfortable to know you're not that close to them. Yeah. So
Okay.
you have to understand why people be like, I prefer a long distance relationship is either because they're hiding something, right? And or um
You
it's
got a
stuff
lot
that
of
they don't
dirt
want
out
you to
there.
see.
They
Yeah,
got a lot of dirt
yeah,
out
stuff they
there,
don't
and
want
too
you to
many
see,
people.
their reputation. Yeah,
It's a small town, and everybody knows each other. So, or he probably didn't smash all the chicks in the little town, so he need to go out of town to get some new cheeks, right?
exactly. And same thing with the women on their side when they
Yes.
say, I
Everything
want to
goes
get,
both ways here.
like when you look on them dating shows and they be like, when you look on them dating shows, I'm like, so, would you prefer a man, does he have to live where you're from? No, it's all right. I actually prefer somebody who's not in my city or state. That I'm telling you now, at least as a man of my caliber, that's a red flag off bucks. Because you got to think about it. How many, how many people are you driving by? Think about it as you're traveling. As you're traveling, you get in your car, you go a whole state or two or across. How many people did you pass to get to that one person that isn't even a guarantee? Even that's a maybe or an if. You know how many people you passed back there? You know what I mean? And it's like you couldn't figure nothing out. Nothing.
I hear
Nah.
you.
So if you have to go to a whole nother state to feel like you got a date or whatever, you have to remember you take you with you everywhere you go. So you changing the state don't change nothing. You're just gonna burn out that state. Now I was off to Cali, now I was off to Texas, now I was off to ATL, and all you're gonna do is keep repeating the cycle. And that's how you get somebody who we call a serial dater. I digress. My mic is muted.
Okay, so Christy, thank you for coming. You're a newbie. Thank you for embracing the channel. I appreciate it. So
That's another friend of mine. Yeah, that's another.
Okay. Thank you for coming, Christy. I appreciate you supporting me and Gary. So she says, shoot, my ex-husband was in prison for 12 years and I stayed. My ex-boyfriend was a soldier and deployed a few times, and one was over the road truck driver. I don't think I would know what to do if someone was close, LOL. I says, shit, Christy, so all you know is long distance relationships. So you're right. You wouldn't know how to act if he was just right around the corner. You know what I realized too, doing my research? And I always kind of knew this, but it's different when you're actually seeing it. These military families, they have to deal with this. And when we go through the research that I did, you're going to see how it's detrimental to your mental health having a long distance relationship, and things that you have to do to like keep it healthy. So then I got my boy Wally in here. He says, salute, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate you. I hope you can stay and participate. Guys, don't forget to press the like button when you come in. And you can always support the channel with the Cash App. I really appreciate it. PA said, what's up? I Wallyverse. And then PA said, God damn, Christy. And then Wally said he put salute to PA, Texas. So with that being said, let's get into a little bit into the information, because anybody that's new here, me and Gary just don't sit here and talk our shit and our opinions. I actually do the research. Well, Gary does too, because he sends me. Carrie, thank you for for subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. I just got the notification. I appreciate it. He sends me a lot of information to strengthen my show, so I do have to give him his flowers for that. I don't do this by myself when it comes to the research. He knows how I am. I'm an index card person. You know, I have 10 of them today. It was a deep topic. But let's start a little bit. It says here, research shows that long distance couples tend to have the same or more satisfaction in their relationship than couples who are geographically close. However, it does take higher levels of dedication for their relationship to work and less feelings of being trapped. However, 40% of long distance relationships eventually come to an end. But feel comfort in knowing that long distance relationship can absolutely succeed. In fact, most couples find themselves geographically separated at some point during their dating or marriage relationship. Many couples even point to a season of long distance that made the cornerstone of their relationship stronger. So it has its good points and it has its bad points. Again, on my side, I'm not for it. At my age, I'm not for it. I need you to be close. I need to be able to touch you. I need to be able to, you know, if I don't have time to see you all day, at least I know we can go to Starbucks, get a coffee, talk, hang out, do something. But I can't.
But see, I think
It's not me anymore.
I think that we are, I guess, in this whole new world of social media now. It's very different than when we were growing up. So now our choices have, I don't know, multiplied by the thousands now. So when we were growing up, it was, you know, the boy or girl in the neighborhood or in our city. Now it could be, you know, there could be a relationship anywhere now. So I think that for the people who, you know, for the people who are able to make that happen, more power to them. Like I said, I've known a few that have done long distance relationships and they've come together and they've made it work. And, you know, some have even got married, but then I've also known others that have failed and some bad things have happened. I mean, it's, I think it's, you know, it's the person that you're dealing with. And I think also too, if you're going to do a long distance, at least in my eyes, there has to be a plan of the coming together, right? There has to be so are we going to date for a year and then at the end of that year, are we planning to move in? Or are we just going to keep dating and, you know, you're in Florida and I'm in California and keep doing that? You understand? So I think at a certain age, and I would even say, even if you're in your mid 30s and you're trying to get your life together or settle, I think even then you would want to, if you're dating long distance, you still want to have to you still should come up with a plan of, okay, we can do this long distance stuff, but at some point in a year or a year and a half, we need to come together and be in the same, you know, be under the same roof.
Absolutely.
And that takes real planning. That takes real planning and organizing and coordinating. And what we keep saying here every week, communication.
Effective communication. You know, people can communicate and not communicate well. And I think everybody should try to at least learn and read up on communication, because Gary, you know what? Some people weren't taught how to communicate. That's the first obstacle. True. And then once you learn how to communicate, you have to learn how to effectively communicate. And hold on, there's another part of communication that's vital: comprehension.
Absolutely. Very true. Very true.
You have to be able to comprehend. Like Gary, I have to be able, you communicate something with me, you communicated it effectively, but now I got to be able on my side interpret it and comprehend it accurately.
Well, see,
And
and,
that's
and
what a lot of people don't do. A lot of people just listen to response. They don't
Well,
really
but see-
take the time.
right. But see, also too, I think one of the big problems is if I'm saying something and in my mind, I'm thinking or I'm feeling I'm saying something a certain way. Are you hearing it the way that I'm saying it, or are you interpreting it differently? You follow me?
Absolutely. And that's why I always reiterate the question or say, well, Gary, did you understand what I was trying to say? Do you feel me? You know, I tried to get some type of feedback to try to see if you understood what I said. If you wanted to interpret, because I could tell you the sky is blue, but you're interpreting it that it's purple. And then I have to show you, no, this is what the color blue is, and this is what the color purple is. And you know, but people just, everybody's such, what do we usually say? Everybody's in microwave status. Nobody wants to take time. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to just talk. Everybody just wants to spend everybody's money, what you can do for me, what I can do for you, and just don't want to spend there and talk. And that is that is, I think, one of the main issues right now. You know, if a man tells you, hey, I don't want any kids, then I really think it's the responsibility of the woman, because at the end of the day, it's the woman that has the final say if she's having a kid. Do take every precautionary steps not to have a kid. Because if the man communicated with you, I don't want any babies, then why would you pop up and tell him I'm pregnant and expect him to stay there for you? You see, but we're getting off track because, again, that's about communication. So with that being said, long distance relationships tend to last for approximately 4.5 months before breaking down. And around 40% of these relationships ultimately end in a breakup. It has been found that 70% of the failed long distance relationships fall apart due to unexpected and unplanned changes in circumstances. And that's the biggest thing that made me understand why my long distance relationship that I recently dissipated, it was the unexpected and unplanned changes in circumstances. Now, it could have been worked through, but it takes two to make a thing go right. You can't be in a boxing ring by yourself fighting a fight. So it is what it is. Long distance relationships can be problematic for the growth of a healthy relationship. The ramifications can also affect mental health in a negative way. Long distance relationships can be a problem for the growth of a healthy relationship. Again, and it's also possible to thrive in a long distance relationships because distance can indeed make the heart grow fonder. What do you feel about that saying? I'm gonna start with you, Crab K. Carlton. Do you feel that that's true? Distance can make the heart grow fonder?
No, absolutely not. You hold on. You said distance or absence?
Absence.
I know
That's
that
it. Can absence
only for a certain amount of time. So look at it like, you remember back in the days, those like cars that you can like pull back and wind and you let it go and it rolls? Boom. All right. Can only pull them back but so far before it clink, clink, clink and it start to grind. All right. So when it comes to absence makes the heart grow fonder, yes, absolutely. Now it's like this, right? Being away at work all day is one thing. Then you come home or something like, I ain't seen you all day, right? That's a absence makes the heart grows fonder. Going away to prison for 15 years, that's the way to get someone to, remove you from thought. You're gone too long, and that's just what it is. Because the fact is that in order to keep going, the only way to keep going is you have to remove certain things. You cannot hold on to everything. You gotta let go of a lot. It's a lot of stuff you just have to let go. That was then, that was on that day, at that time, in that period in my life. That's no longer. So if you're gone long enough, you can be essentially, I wouldn't say forgotten, but you're not on that thought when that person wakes up how you used to be. No, that's gone now.
Out of sight, out of
Thoughts are
mind.
on other things.
That's how I look at it.
You know what?
That's how I
Beautifully
look at
said.
it, Cracky.
There you go.
Out of sight,
So
out of
yes
mind.
and no. You get what I'm saying? Yes and no.
I
Right.
think that
Absolutely.
I think that
What about you, Gary? How do you feel about that saying? Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
I'll say this. I mean, when you're, you know, if you're gone from work for the day, first of all, if you and your partner have that kind of relationship where y'all are really into each other, and you've been gone the whole day from work, and you come home and she hugs you, baby, I missed you all day, right? Or let's say you go away for the weekend with your friends and he comes back, baby, I missed you. So I think little stuff like that, right, is very important. But I think that when you're talking about being in two, you can't really experience that, at least in my opinion, when you're having a long distance relationship, right? You could say that you miss them. I always say, people, there's the idea, right? There's the idea of someone, and then there's the reality of someone. And I think a lot of people get that crossed, right? I think that's where a lot of problems happen. Like, you could get caught up in the idea of the person, or you could miss the idea of the person, but the reality of the person is very different, right? In most cases. But I think that when it comes to missing, and look, I think we all like it when we have someone that tell us that they miss us. It feels good, right? We can't lie about that. It feels good, right? It feels genuine, but it has to be where it's more of it can't be something that is long distance like that, so to speak, right? And when I say that is when you're in a relationship, right? When you're in an actual relationship and you're living with someone, or you're in the same city or in the same area, then then that would work. That would work a lot better, right? Because I mean, it's
So you would think, because
look, at least in my experience, that would work. That would work a lot better, right? Because it feels, if your partner is into you like that, then of course they're gonna miss you when you go away. Now, clearly, there's some people that they have partners that are just so clingy and stuff like that. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the healthy ones where if you're gone, if you're generally gone all day from work, or maybe 2 days, and your partner and if your guy and your lady misses you, it's like, and you come home or you come to her house and she grabs you and be like, baby, I missed you. That's different, right? So I think that's a lot better than, the other stuff, in my opinion.
I hear you. And Gary, I got to put it out there. In our age bracket, ain't nobody got time for that. You know what I'm saying? We already busy with our days and doing shit, the kids, the job, the career, the podcast. And now I can't even go to my safe place, which is supposed to be my man. I can't get what I want when I want it. You
And
know
just
what I'm saying? It's
and
not.
see, you said something very key right there. Your partner is supposed to be your safe place,
Yeah, I have to
right?
be able to decompress. Yeah, you the one that I come to decompress and talk about my day and maybe get some advice and clarity. You know what I'm saying? And other things that come with that and give you clarity. And I can't do that if I have to always call JetBlue and make a reservation. It's just it doesn't work well with me. It doesn't sit well with me, and I'm not gonna try it. Maybe if I was 20 years old and I had time to bullshit, but at my age, I feel that long distance relationships are a waste of time. They might as well like be long distance booty calls because you really at my yeah, I used your words.
Well,
At
look, I
my
mean, look,
age,
here it is. I mean, for those of us that's, let's say, 40 to 50, 55, right? I mean, for people that's 40 to 55, or let's say 40 to 60, right? Okay, so for people that's 40 to 60, if you're getting into a long distance relationship, even more so, are you, if you're, are you going to be looking to live together in a year? At the end of the year, are we moving in? Like,
Can I comment to that?
go
absolutely.
right ahead.
Yeah. So, Reese, bro. So, like, when you was reading off that statistic, and
Mhm.
about the people who, were saying, oh, they're happier. One, I'm somebody who knows whoever did that study is of a specific generation. Majority of the people that individual or individual spoke to, more than likely are of a certain generation. Because the thing is, because the thing is, to say that you're more happy when you're further away, it's just further evidence of how far gone and the new age everybody is. Now, we all know that in no form of fashion works. If you really, really want anything to work when it comes to a relationship between a man and a woman, never can that work. And you all are also spread apart. You spread apart, then I mean, there's nothing there. Why do people want to be spread apart? Because think about it. The less you're around each other, the less you have to be accountable, the less you have to work on yourself, the more you can keep that mask on, the more you can kind of hide. You see, when someone's
Mhm.
around you and close, yeah, when someone is around you and close, generally, you really have to step it up. Whatever it is that you've been talking about that you are, you got to live that. You got to keep that up. But see, the thing is, nowadays, a lot of people are so used to just saying something and knowing that, well, I can just say I'm this and I can just say I'm that, because everybody does it and none of us ever really live up to anything. That's the thing now. That's the
That
new thing.
part.
Hop on social media, act like you're this, act like you're that, talk a certain way, but don't live up to none of it. And so what happens is you'll have folks that they'll say, nah, I don't really want to be around somebody too much. Why? Because if somebody's around you long enough, who you are, that's going to get exposed. It's going to get exposed. If I'm around you
Absolutely.
long enough, you can't hide whatever you, if you trifling, if you lazy, if you really not about eating healthy, if you act like you all like to pray and in the church and everything. See, if I'm around you enough, you gonna have to get up and do all of that stuff because you've been talking it. So how can I get the best of both worlds? All right, bet I know. Let me go ahead and have a relationship with somebody who's far enough away to where I know they're not just popping up on me. That's too much gas, time, everything. You ain't just popping up on me like that.
You gotta call
Not with
me
me
first,
being
right?
like here, not with me being here in Maryland and you being in Atlanta. You ain't just popping up on me. I ain't gotta worry about that. So now I can just talk and I can be whatever I want to be and never have to worry too much about ever proving it. I digress. My
So,
mic is muted.
all right. So I will say that in this new age of social media, it has given us so many different options, right? Or opportunities, however you want to look at it. And I think that for those people who are looking to genuinely get into a relationship, if you're going to do something long distance, which primarily is what a lot of people do now, or has been doing what the last 10 years or so, if you're genuinely, right, going to do a long distance relationship with someone and y'all two really want to get together and they're going to put the time and effort into making it happen, then, you know, then there needs to be a plan on when you're going to come together, right, under the same roof, right?
Absolutely.
And I think, right, so, and that's all I'm saying now. Like I said before, I know quite a few success stories. I mean, one of my dearest friends on Facebook, a guy by the name of Walter Burks and Tina Willis, perfect example, right? Where they had a long distance relationship, they laid out the plan, and they came together, and they're living happy ever after married. So it can happen, right? It can happen. I think it just has to be. I think that, you know, the people or the two people, they have to be real genuine about it. Unfortunately, a lot of people on social media, they want to play games. They want to, you know, fake it, and all the other shit that goes with that.
But why is that? Why do they fake it? Why do people who go about relationships on social media go about it the way they do? We all know that's because of the reality shows. All of these people, see, look. What it is that don't nobody know how to just be what we would call just normal. Just be a couple. Everybody has to be a damn star. Everything has to be like, see, like even how like women choose men. Women don't choose men based upon like, can you really make a good decision? Do you have the power of discernment? You know, yes, I would say finances should be involved because the fact is, without money, there are a lot of things you won't be able to provide for and be able to do, you know, but that shouldn't be the, you know, the core of it. So when you have all of these, So when you have all of these factors that's being all wishy-washy with how people go about relationships, right? Nothing's going to be real with that. Women are looking for a casting couch. Men are looking for a video vixen. So if you got the men looking for a video vixen and you got the women looking for a casting couch, as far as like a dude that don't mind the camera being in his face 24/7, always recording what we do. We always have to be out and, you know, recording and looking like we're one of the couples on Love and Hip Hop. A lot of women want to reenact that stuff with all of their might. And so what happens is this: you're more focused on the attention than what everybody else has to say about the relationship that you're in with only one other person.
Versus
So
your
what
partner.
happens is, you not even focusing on what really is it that would allow you all's relationship to grow. You're not focused on that. You're not really focusing on what that man likes, how he likes it, what he doesn't like, why he doesn't like it. And he's not doing the same thing with you. So both of y'all are just really kind of being real frivolous and real surface with everything.
Yep.
There's no depth to anything. Nothing has any depth. So now what happens? You got this fake relationship going on. You have a fake situation. And do you really think a fake situation is going to have real outcome results? I wouldn't say so. You
Of course
know,
not.
You're right.
But
Guys,
then-
let me
that's
get
right.
on these comments. Hold on. Let me get on these
Okay.
comments. They're piling
All right.
up. Hold
All
on.
right.
So come back. You got to be able to get what you want when you want it. Yep. If that's going to be the theme for the night, then let it be. I'm not going to deny what I said. And then he came back and said, 15 years is a baseball career. And then my girl Carrie said, guess who made it tonight? I'm glad you made it. Hold on, mine. It's time. I got a little alarm here on my phone. It's time to pray. So, and then Karen said in Spanish, because, you know, we are bilingual around here, amor de lo lejos es de los pendejos. What she said is long distance relationships are for the fools. And then she came back and said, the less you have to do. And then I was saying hi to Karen. And all these people are going live. What's the game, Kate Carlton? And then I said, hi, sweetie, press the like button. And then Karen came back and said, like I said, move. I together, it speeds up the break. And then Karen County is 100% authentic. Oh, look who walked in the door. Let's talk with JVJ. What's the word, Thunderbird? How you doing, Jay? Thank you for coming through. You know you're welcome to come up here at any time, sir. And then, okay, they were saying hi to each other. Everybody talking their little small talk. Let's see. PA was. What's the word? Bird said that one already, and then PA said hi. Oh my! All these notifications. I gotta take them off. Come on. Well, they were saying hi to each other. JVJ said hi to Biggie. Yeah, he made a little cameo because he was bothering me. He wanted to get picked up. Make it a real commitment, damn it. That's what Karen said. Hold on. Come on, show. Make it real in-person commitment, damn it. It won't. Then she comes back and says it won't happen in social media. And then she said 90 Day Fiance is fake. I've seen that show. And then she keeps saying I only know one. If you move on with Jesus, I mean, she's going up. Focus on you. Blessings will arrive per Jesus. Focus on yourself. And that's it. That's a good one. And then PA, I guess he was looking for translation. He says, I didn't know pendejos equals fools. Yes, it is. And then, oh, she's so funny. She knows me. I was talking about the Knicks game, giving me the update on the Yankees. The Yankees are winning too, so that's a good thing. All right, so now we caught up on the comments. As you guys know, I always show different clips of the topic that I'm talking about so you guys can, get different perspectives. So let me go ahead and get my first clip here. Give me just a moment. Share screen. We're gonna here. And give it just a moment. It's loading. So yeah, I just want to put this clear out here that me and Gary are not saying don't be in long distance relationship. It's just not for us. So I got to put that disclaimer because we're not trying to discourage nobody from their true love. We're just trying to tell you guys that it is just not for us. That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm good. You?
Not a lot, really. Just staying in, really. Weather's not that great, so
Can't really talk right now.
I'll see you I'll speak to you later.
I'll call you back later, right?
Bye.
This happens in long distance relationships all the time. Whether it's time differences, conflicting work schedules, or just different energy levels at different times of day, we find a great distance, a great disconnect, and a great interference in the way we communicate with each other. Communication in relationships is already hard enough, and long distance relationships add a new level of complexity. They mean so little when someone means so much, but still somehow distance has this ability to break bonds, to break trust, to really push us further away from each other, not just physically, but emotionally. Here are the 5 genuine pieces of advice and principles from long distance relationships. Number 1, if the relationship matters, the distance doesn't. Don't let being far from someone make you push them further away. Number 2, you share the little moments of joy, all the small moments in your day that brightened it up with that other person. Number 3, one of the most important things is to make allotted and prioritize for each other. It's going to be difficult to just reach each other spontaneously, so it's important that it's become a part of your priority. Number 4, remember to build your own personal life, and remember it's okay for the other person to build theirs. Don't try and control or hold someone back by having incredible experiences. Invest in yourself and allow the person to grow and evolve in their own way. And the 5th and final one, talk through the struggles and hard feelings. Texting is a brilliant way to miscommunicate how you feel and misinterpret what other people mean. Don't try and text through the tough conversations. Make sure you talk through them. And remember, long distance relationships are hard, but can also be incredible. When you learn to respect, trust, and love someone from a distance, you'll be absolutely unstoppable when you're together.
I think that was pretty good.
No, that was a great video.
You see how she misinterpreted? You
Of
see how
course.
she misinterpreted the video? He called her. He called her before he got on the elevator. She missed the call. But you see how she misinterpreted right before he just took a selfie at the bar, which is probably at the hotel that he's working at. You know how you guys like to do it. You get off work, you go to the bar, you get a couple drinks, unwind, watch the game, and then you go upstairs. But that's just it, you know? So it's crazy. And I thought that was a good video because it showed the misinterpretations.
He said something very important. He said something very important at the end with the texting, which I say all the time, right? It's you can easily misinterpret and miscommunicate. And if the person matters to you, pick up the fucking phone and call. You understand? You can't, and I think that I think that one of the problems is for the long distance relationships that don't work. People like to hide behind the text. They don't want to pick up the phone and call, right? Because they don't want to face and be accountable. Like if you're really into this person or you love this person, what have you, then you're supposed to be able to work through the problems. So if there's something that's not right or is not feeling right, pick up the phone and call, right? But I mean, so and I think that with a lot of these, or for the long distance relationships that don't work or have issues, that texting shit is a major factor. Major factor.
But I made a lot of mistakes in the last long distance relationship because I didn't call a lot because I didn't want to seem like a bugaboo or a pest. You know what I'm saying? But before we go any further, let me introduce Let's Talk with JVJ. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, girl? What's going on, Gary?
What's up, bro? What's up?
Y'all,
Introduce yourself and let people know where we can find you, sir. And you already got a shout out talking about you the man.
who said that?
Go ahead, Karen.
Oh, well, look, y'all can check me out over on Let's Talk with JVJ. Also check us out on the JVJ Network. We do shows on multiple days throughout the week. And over here, messing with Grace from time to time.
Oh, from time to time. Okay. So before we go any further, Jay, the conversation is about long distance relationships. What's your take on it? Do you like long distance relationships? Do you agree with them?
I would advise anybody to don't do it.
Why?
Well, it's just like the guy was just listing a lot of things that you need to focus, like hyper focus in on, so you can make that long distance relationship work. We got a lot of people that can't even hyper focus on when the person's living right in the same bed with you. So before I think jumping into trying to fix the long distance relationships, can we fix the relationships that we have where people are right around each other? I wouldn't do a long distance relationship because like we ain't messing with each other. If I can't see you when I want to see you, like if I can't get in the car and drive to your house, we ain't got no relationship. We just F buddies.
That's what I was saying. If I can't get what I want when I want it, then I can't, it's not for me, especially at my age. I mean, Jay, somebody at your age is doable. You know what I'm saying? But me, no. Gary,
girl, I'm old. I'm old.
Huh?
What you talking about? I'm old.
You
as
are
hell.
not old.
I'm old. Look at this face.
Whatever.
I just use cocoa butter.
Oh, let me tell you, Jay, I got one of my aunties. She loves you. She is an adamant and watcher, and she watches because of you. So I just needed to give you a shout. She was like, "Ooh, that Jay, something else." I'm like,
Who auntie? Might be the lady Foxy told me was looking at me.
Not her. Not the one that you broke down to ground level. No. So anyway, so let's keep going, guys. This is coming from verywellmind.com. When you're not living in the same household or near your partner, distance alone can increase levels of stress. Results of one study indicated that being in a long distance relationship was associated with more individual and relationships than being in a proximal relationship, because you're not physically, mentally, and emotionally, you're not close to your partner. One doesn't get enough of the feel-good neurotransmitters or happy hormones, dopamine and serotonin, and both affects your guts. So you see, long distance relationships alone creates extra stress. And that's because why? We're stressed because we're not seeing that person. We're stressed, worried about, are they cheating on us? We're stressed, worried, why are they not answering the phone? It's just, again, regular relationships are hard enough. We're barely hanging on to our regular relationships. Now you want to add distance to that? I hate when people tell me, oh, distance shouldn't matter. Oh, love grows within. All that bullshit Hallmark I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I really don't. I know you laughing, Gary, but I'm not 20 anymore. Like when Highland
Can I
comes me every
add
day.
something to that,
I'm
Grace?
pushing 50.
Oh shit, sorry.
Absolutely.
Nah, I think you on delay. Nah, my bad. I'm sorry.
That.
You're delaying on my side. My
What you
bad,
gotta
Grace.
say, boss?
No, I was gonna say to the whole part when you were saying how she got upset at the text, right? In the video. People have to remember that text has no feeling. Now I want you to try your best to picture what I'm saying. You could be having somewhat of a bad day. Your day's not going so well. So you already in the funk. And let's say somebody sends you a text, maybe saying, "What's good?" Now, the person on the other end, right? They feel good. So they like, "Hey man, what's good?" So that's all they text, "What's good?" And that's how they feel. But you, because you in a funk, when you read the text, you receive it, "What's good?" With you know, like what's good, like almost like a beef. So my point is, somebody can type something, depending on how you feel at that moment, you could take that whole text left and hold T. Little do you know that person on the other end of the phone, right? They wasn't even on that type of time that you want. That was in your head. You want that type of time. But because y'all not speaking, you're not hearing like the fluctuation in their voice. You're not hearing a little laugh or giggle behind it. And so now people are almost like forced to like, I better put the right emojis inside this text, because if I don't, you just might misinterpret it. And I be feeling that way sometimes. I mean, matter of fact, a lot of times on social media, if I say something to somebody and I know I'm just joking, I know I gotta put the right laughing emojis and ha-has and laughing my ass off or LOL or something like that, just so you know I ain't coming at you. I was just joking. I'm just joking. But other than that, I digress. My mic is muted, so I just wanted to throw that part in. Can't hear you, Grace. Is that just me?
Yeah, no, Grace, we can't hear you, Grace.
No,
I'm about to say, yeah, I know if that was just me.
I was on.
Oh, okay.
I was on mute. I agree with you, because I had to get checked. I would say about a few years ago, I was an adamant texter because I worked on the phones all day, and I didn't want to come home and have to talk on the phone all night. So I would text. But it got to a point where there was such a big misunderstanding between a person and the texts that now if I'm texting Gary or Jay or whoever, and something I feel that is getting out of hand where you're not understanding, I'm gonna pick up the phone and call you now, because it's
I'm
necessary.
that way too.
Texts get too much misinterpreted, and like you say, even the freaking emojis get misinterpreted. What do you have to say, Gary? You got something right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and you've heard me say this all the time. Like the texting is so fucking impersonal, right? And I think that when you're dealing, even when you're in a relationship, you should pick up the phone and call that person if something's bothering you, right? But unfortunately, we're at a time where a lot of people, they want to hide behind the texting, right? So they don't want to confront, right? They don't want to, be accountable. They don't want to, so they want to hide behind the texting. And that in itself ruins or contributes to the deterioration of the relationship. Because if you really cared about your partner or how your partner felt, then you would call them and work through whatever the problem is. I always say, I want to hear the emotion in your voice, right? Because the way you text it and the way you say it is two different things. I want to hear how you sound. how bad it upsets you. You could text, oh, this hurt me so bad. But then if I hear your voice and how you say it, then it's like, oh damn, like, you know. So and that, at least to me, that's very important. I need to hear and feel the emotion. Texting, you can't do that.
I hear you, and I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I'm just going through these comments real quick. I'm gonna post them because they're piling up. Karen is off the chain tonight, which she always is. But thank you, Karen. You know, and I had to see tonight. Remember the Instagram, Gary?
Yeah.
That was my girl, Karen. How do I get on video? Oh shit. Okay, I'm gonna get the link. Karen, you better behave yourself, okay? I'm gonna put the link in there, and you just, and then I see your crazy ass in the back, and I let you up. Okay, so I just put the link in the chat. So then, she came back and said again, by 40, hold on, let it go through. By 40, you should have bought a piece of property. Who's moving? True that. So then she came back. I mean, she's busy. You might as well come on because you texting too much. You writing too much. And hold on. So basically, hold on, because she didn't. So basically, don't be retarded. Be respectful. Yeah, exactly. You don't see and chilling with your pops because we know how y'all do it. So then 4 days or 4 weeks tops, longer than you're retarded. Okay, I just don't do it anymore. The detrimental damage will be caused. And then the last text is me showing you the link. Click on the Karen if you want to come up, okay? Oh, she said no. No problem, baby. Keep talking your shit in the comment. I'll take it. So anyway, let's go back to this. Here are some common symptoms to let you know you might have inadequate levels of dopamine. Yes.
Real quick, hold on. Say that again. Say that again.
Say what again?
Say that again. Oh, Knicks are down by like 8 going into the fourth quarter. No. You asked. Keep you posted.
I know.
I'm just keeping you posted.
I'm looking at
I went to go check the score.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Look at
Yeah, Miami up on that ass. Miami up on that ass. All right.
They ain't gonna make it all the way. They may beat the Knicks, but they ain't going nowhere. But anyway, let's stay on hand. Here are some common symptoms to let you know you might be having inadequate levels of dopamine, which remember is that happy hormone. Inattentiveness, lack of motivational drive, inability to concentrate, difficulty sleeping, forgetfulness, lack of interest in sex, and anxiety. Shit, you have that alone with a relationship with somebody in the same household, let alone a long distance relationship. Okay, and low levels of dopamine can adversely affect your neurocognitive functioning and is linked to major depressive order. So I don't recommend it. Again, I'm not here to tell people what to do or what not to do. I'm just saying that to me, it doesn't work. There go my girl Grace. What's up, sis? What's up, gents? What's up, Jay? Thank you for coming. I appreciate the support. Exactly, Karen. I said that same shit too. Out of sight, out of mind. Okay, I just don't deal with it. I don't deal with it. And I tried it for the first time in over 20 years and it still didn't work out. I know you're not talking about my Heat team. Oh hell, here come Ollie. Yeah, I'm talking about your Heat team. The Knicks haven't won a championship in my lifetime, and I'm pushing 50. What's your point? What's the point? Oh, and by the way, and I know y'all, the guys know this. We got Aaron Rodgers, so my Jets have some hope this guys. If they can match the offense to the defense, we good. Whatever. I need to come to y'all sports show and talk my shit. This is close.
I ain't mad at you.
Relationship with Jesus. I know that's right. I ain't mad at you for that. I ain't mad at you at all. But again, serotonin is associated with feeling good. I'm saying seeing your by regularly adjusting your diet, exercising regularly, spending time in the sunshine. The Cleveland Clinic says that serotonin plays a key role in the regulation of mood, sleep, and sexual desires. Signs of serotonin deficiency is mood fluctuates, disrupted sleep, appetite loss, and problem with memory and learning. See, what I'm trying to get at, you guys, is this shit happens when you're living with somebody and when you're dating somebody 5 miles away. Imagine this is only added to the 10th power when it's long distance relationship. And I really have to respect military families. You really have to that's why I always, when I see somebody with their husband or wife who's in the military, I thank them too, because they go through it too. They have to raise the children by themselves. They have to be home by themselves because their husband or their wives are deployed for 6, 9, 10 months at a time. Wouldn't you guys consider that a long distance relationship as well?
Of course.
Wait a minute. Grace. Did you just associate low levels or high levels of serotonin with long distance relationships? I'm just asking.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, go ahead. Continue. I just want to make sure I heard you right.
If that person's not around, you're going to be depressed. You're going to be horny. You're going to be lonely. You're going to go through it. You want to talk to that person. You want to touch that person. You want to hug that person, but you can't because they're 2 states away.
Grace.
Now you got a plan.
Real quick, I'll just throw this small piece in from somebody who actually has been diagnosed with depression, age and stuff. So low serotonin, all right, low serotonin, that has a lot to do more so with depression. Now, low serotonin is not something that's necessarily have to do with what is outer. That's an inner thing. That's because the chemical imbalance is off. Your chemical, listen, watch this. You have people that can tell you right now from suffering from depression, they have been in the most beautiful of places and the most wonderful of places, and they still get depressed. So I'm only speaking on a circumstance as far as depression is a very weird thing. It's an inner thing. Generally, when you're talking about the low serotonin part, that is because your chemical imbalance is off. People take stuff like Zoloft or aka sertraline because that primarily, or trazodone, Seroquel, list goes on, right? These medications are primarily for your depression. It is to boost the serotonin, which is located in the anterior cerebral cortex. That's the back, the base of the brain. That's where all of the serotonin is, right? So all of that gets released from the back, right? It's to boost that. That has nothing to do with what's going on outside. That's all that I was trying to say. That's it. That's it. But you are absolutely right on.
I hear you.
That's all.
And I hear you, but because you're in a relationship and that person is not there when you want them or need them, that causes you to go into a depressed mood. That
yes, it can. But only thing I'm saying is that's a different. That's induced. That's induced. And yes, it's just as valid, but that's different. Yeah. It's still substantial. It still holds weight and validity and everything. It's just that that's not the same as the person who suffers from depression from low serotonin. Ooh, watch this so I can land it. Some people are born, what they have is diabetics, type A or type 1, type 2 or something. Some are born with it. And then some accumulated through bad health, right? Some get diabetes. It's induced. They induce that. They put that on themselves because of their diet and their health. Some people were born with it. So it's just a little different. You see what I'm saying? It is the same. It is diabetes. Okay. You still need your insulin or whatever, to raise or lower your sugar, whichever type you are or what you need specifically. But one you're born with and one you afflicted upon yourself and or life inflicted upon you. is all I'm trying to say. That's all. That's all. But
I hear
you're
you.
spot on.
Hey,
You spot on. You spot on, sis. You got it. You got it. I digress. My mic is muted.
I appreciate that.
Read.
Here come Wally with talking about the New York Jets. New York Jets don't get nothing but all means. They better cost in. I understand that the Jets haven't won a championship since 1969. I get it.
Wally is a
Understand it.
Dolphin
But there's
fan. He can't say nothing. Wally has had no word to say since
Yeah.
Dan Marino. Wally needs to hush up. All right.
Since 1972. He ain't, I've nothing to say since 1972. Karen said Aaron Rodgers about to put them back on the map, perhaps. There you go, Karen. That's my girl. She got my back. And then Grace came back and said, people need to work on self-discipline and accountability. Long-distance relationships help in doing such, and you vet out the ones that can't hang. And you know what, Grace, you're absolutely right. Because this last relationship that I had, and it was long distance, it was kind of long distance. It did teach, well, I have discipline, but I really exercised discipline and my will, because I did do what I was supposed to do. I was good, you know what I'm saying? And it still didn't pan out, but that's okay. I just know that I'm not doing long distance relationship anymore. It is not for me, unless you're 2 hours away on a plane ride or 2 hours away in a car ride. That's the max that I can do personally.
Hey,
Other
let me
than
ask
that,
you a
I'm not
question.
having it.
Can I ask you a question, Grace?
Yes.
Matter of fact, I mean this is for the whole panel. Jay, what's your name again, brother? I'm sorry, man.
Gary.
Gary. Yeah, respect, Gary. Would you all consider a couple? All right, so like I got a woman, I get locked up, and let's just say, okay, it ain't life, but like how I did 7 years. Would you consider that long distance relationship? Like a man that's incarcerated and or overseas, is that still considered long distance? I'm just curious, because I was wondering like what's the spectrum for it? You know what I'm saying? What are the limits and the boundaries for long distance relationships? So if we met and we've been together and we live in the same city, but then I get shipped away, is that, I don't know.
I mean, that's a great question. I think that so I guess let me go to the second part of your question first, because I mean, it's because I have family and friends that's in the military and is in that situation. I guess it moves from being, I guess, under the same roof to where your partner is now, stationed in Germany or Japan or what have you, and they're stationed there for the next, let's say, year or two. So at that point, when they're stationed, then yes, it does become a long distance relationship. Now if you and your partner have been married and stuff like that, then it's a bit more serious. But if you and your partner are not married and y'all just a couple and y'all been living with each other and stuff like that, then yes, I think, in my opinion, it does shift to a long distance relationship, because now you're continuing the relationship, but now it's your partner's here and now you're over stationed in Germany somewhere for like the next year or next year and a half. So under that circumstance, yeah, I think that would be long. You're dealing long distance, but it didn't start out that way. And I think with the prison, with being in jail,
What about you,
I would
Jay?
I think being in jail is the same way. If you're living with someone and you're under the same roof, and then you go away for, I don't know, 5 years, 7 years, or 10 years, it becomes a long distance relationship, because y'all are, calling each other and sending letters and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think I guess in both cases, it goes from being under the same roof to now traveling, now extending to be or transferring to being a long distance relationship for the time period that you're going to be gone or you're gone.
What about you, Jay? Do you consider jail or military personnel long relationship?
No, not really.
No?
No. Cause
No. Okay. Well, go ahead.
no, well, here, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say military, yes, I consider long distance relationship. But jail, no, the judge broke us up. I mean, if I'm married to you and you're about to do 15, 20 years, first of all, I don't think I will ever get with somebody that's going to do 15, 20 years. So I'm good. But I'm not I'm not holding somebody down that's locked up. I'm sorry. That's not a relationship. I mean, I could shoot you some commissary and write you letters, but I'm not doing it. If I can't do a long distance relationship,
Grace? Let me ask. How long? Like, all right, so hold on. All right, so watch, right? So like, you my boo, right? You my lady. And now, mind you, I want to give you how it usually goes. Because women real quick to haul ass. So this how it usually goes, right?
Not all, but go ahead.
Hold on. Just hear me, right? So like usually you my lady, let's just say typical situation, you know, I work and everything, but I hustle too. You know, I be, on the corner, right? And you've been down with me for like, let's say 5 years. I mean, like we done had wonderful holidays and trips and everything. Like the kids been good, all of that. And yeah, a lot of that came from that drug money. Now I get hit. What is your limit? Like, for example, if I get a 5-year hit, like, it's that day, the sheriff's behind me, my hands behind my back, I look back at you, I blow that kiss, mwah, babe, hold me down as I'm getting shifted off to the back. Is that too long for you? Considering you've been eating off everything. Like, I want you to think about everything I was able to provide. You was cool with it before.
I'm going to take care of you while you're in prison as far as commissary, write you letters, be there mentally, but I can say faithfully in that other area.
Wow.
Because you can tell I can't have sex for 3 to 5 years. I'm going to make sure you're commissary full. I'm going to write you letters, but I'm not, and I think 2 to 3 years is my max.
Wow.
I mean, I'm gonna make sure you eat. I'm gonna make sure you got deodorant. I'm gonna sure you got, a cell phone. I'm gonna make sure you right. You make sure I was right. But, and then you gotta consider my age too. Look, she gonna stop working soon.
Look, I know.
Go ahead, Gary.
I'm gonna keep it so on it. Like, I personally know situations where someone got hit. Same thing. Wifey, she kept his commissary full, all of that, kept him good. But I mean, she had to take care of her business. She had to take care of her business. Like, and I know a couple of situations that happened in. Because I mean, if you're mad, and in the one cat I knew, he was gone for 10. The other one got 15 and the other one got 25. So it's like, yo, man. So, it's going to be kind of hard. It's definitely,
hey, and I know,
and bro, in fact,
you really expect us.
But I was just going to say, from our standpoint, most of us do expect our lady to, hold us down and not do anything. But that's not the reality in a lot of cases.
And I'm gonna be real with it.
All
I'm
right.
gonna do
Hey,
everything
real
right as
quick,
far as your
Grace.
adversary good. What about you, Crab Cake Carlton? Were you was up for 5 years? Would you stay faithful? I mean, y'all can't even stay faithful when we're sleeping in the same bed. Most people, women and men. But you're gonna tell me you're gonna stay faithful?
All right, so look, this is the type of person that I am, as the loyal person that I am. If I'm with, let's say, my lady, she does some kind of scheming thing. I'm the legit one. She's legit too. Like, she works maybe like school teacher, regular job, but what she does is like some credit card fraud or something. So wound up, but now we were living great. I know what she's been doing. And she wound up getting hit. I'm going to be real with you. Yeah, I got that woman's back. Because the fact is, I was there with her when everything was good. You know, it was once upon a time something called for better or worse. One more time. For better or worse. So I was there when everything was better. But for some reason now, I just got to live my best life. I got to do me. Now that shit hit the fan. So what it comes down to me, what it comes down to with me is integrity, morals, and loyalty. I know for a fact for me to do the opposite, I would not be being myself. I'm not being me. I'm not. That's completely opposite of my character. Genuinely. One more time. People like to talk these things because it sounds real good. You know how we put up little memes and stuff? It looks real good. But the thing is, people don't like to walk these things and really live it.
Sound good.
They really don't. So, I mean, if that was the case,
I hear you.
I benefited. Listen. Throughout your schemes, I was able to get that brand new, nice little car. I was able to go on nice little trips with my homeboys or whatever and stuff. You know the lifestyle. I was able to eat good. I was able to take nice pictures and resorts and everything off of your scheming. Now you get locked up and I'm like, yeah, well, I'm about to go do me. Man, I ain't gonna lie. That's some sucker shit. That's fake. And that's weak. It's weak. It's weak. If you sign up for that, you know how I look at that? To land it right here, I look at it equivalent to these fake dudes out here claiming gang and everything, right? You so gangster. You so about that life. You so hood. Then when something happened, now you turn and state. Nah, bro, you signed up for that. That's my point. That's where I'm going. You signed up for that. Nah, rock out. I'm talking about ride that beat till the wheels fall off. Rock out. That's what you signed up for. I know my woman been scheming. Nah, bro. Nah. We gonna Bonnie and Clyde this to the end. Period. I know what I signed up for. And you know what? I said to myself, I signed up to be with somebody that at any moment, that door can get kicked in and everything can go downhill. I signed up for that. I know that's what's to come eventually at some point. I know that's what's to come. So I'm going to eat that.
I hear you. I really would make in the age that I'm in the predicament I'm in right now, I would make sure that I wouldn't put myself in that. I would not date somebody that's doing illegal shit.
Exactly.
I don't do illegal
So if you
shit
don't want that life,
anymore.
then don't. Exactly. So because I've never had to worry about turning state on some homies, I was the one, I got out the car. I was the one that said, I'm good, or whatever it may be, blah, blah, blah. That was me. You see what I'm saying? I made certain decisions, power of discernment. Because I made certain decisions, that's why I was able to get to where I got to. I wanted to say this real quick, though. Your homegirl, real quick, if she's still listening, she said, what in the chat? She said, but who dates drug dealers? Oh, wow. Yeah, sis. Not sure if you're aware, but apparently nowadays, a man who works a 9 to 5 is not even desired. Yeah. If you ask most women nowadays, they want scammers. They want they want exactly
They want the
that.
quick
They want
money.
the
It's been like
Yes,
that
they do. So when you say
it's
who
been
would
like
date a
that for a
drug
long
dealer,
time.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, nothing personal, but I'm like, where's she been?
Yeah, it's
Like,
been like listen, it's
where
been
you
like that
been?
for a long time.
Are you
They would
serious?
rather
Who would date a drug dealer? What? That's
yeah.
how most dudes. That's like a quick. That's like a shortcut to get an endless box. That's the shortcut. That's a cheat code. That's like an endless life cheat code. You get some work, you gonna have some cheeks, bro. What do you think? What? Because with drugs comes money. So who would date a drug dealer? Who would date a man who has money? Most women. And most women don't care how that man get that money, just so long as they don't have to go ahead and be in the line of fire, nothing. As long as they can look cute and be on the side, do a little slight little move for them here, there, little slight little drop off here, there, they okay, and they good with that. Just but you better know when shit hit the fan, and when they and then when that when the FBI or CIA, whoever, pull her ass into that room, you better believe she's not gonna hold us down for you. So just keep that in mind. That is what comes with it, and if you choose that, then walk in that. I digress. My mic is muted.
Nowadays, I just want to say briefly, nowadays, you got all these cats that's in that lifestyle, they just ratting each other out. So it's not even on code anymore. So, but all right, Grace, you could continue.
Okay, so there are a few things that is necessary to make a long distance relationship successful. When you're not residing in the same city and when you can't reach your partner, imagination may take over. Are they out with someone else? Are they cheating? Or do they still care? Trust.
That's insecurities.
Yeah, but
In my opinion. Okay. In my
also
opinion.
believe that it's up to you, Gary. We was dating long distance. You're in New York. I'm in Atlanta. I also think it's up to that other person to make me feel secure and subdued.
Of course, absolutely, I agree. I totally agree with you on that.
If I call you and it doesn't matter what time of the day, you don't pick up. If I call you and you say you're on your phone with your uncle setting up a job for the next day, and then you don't call me back, that's a problem. You know, you don't call.
I get it. No, and
for 2-3 weeks at a time. That's a problem.
Well, see that's bad, but that's ineffective.
That's bad for business.
Yeah, well, that's ineffective communication, because if you're in a relationship, like if you're my lady and you call and I know when you're calling me, well, first of all, you know my schedule, one, right? So. And you would already know that if I miss a call, X, Y, or Z would have been happening, but I would call you back the moment I get a chance.
Exactly.
Like that's how it should work.
And then it says here, the physical distance between you both influences the development of romantic relationships or the demise of them, according to one study. Lack of trust definitely contributes to the end of these relationships. Without trust, some people are filled with fear and anxiety. One must ask themselves if you're suspicious about the other person, or are you being reasonable? Or perhaps one realizes this is a lack of faith in your partner and it stems from one's own low self-esteem, insecurities, childhood trauma, or negative past dating experience.
I was just gonna say, see, there are a lot of there's a few things to unpack here. So I think that one, a lot of people, a lot of people deal with different kinds of trauma. So I think there's a trauma issue that needs to be addressed, right? And I think in a lot of relationships, the trauma issue, whatever that may be, they don't address it. So clearly, if there's the trauma issue and you're not effectively communicating properly, then that, in my opinion, that's a recipe for disaster.
Absolutely.
That is true.
Hold on,
But
hold that thought, my dear.
go ahead.
My comments
No
are
problem.
piling up. Hold on. So Grace said, so like you could be married for 10 years, he provided the whole time, and then he goes to jail for 7 years, and you're just gonna quit. Well, Grace, that's different. Now that's my husband. If I'm just dating somebody, that's my husband. And that means I can get visits, conjugal visits with him. So, you know, I'm gonna get what I need when I want. You know what I'm saying? So that's different. A husband being locked up or just a boyfriend, those are two different things to me. So I can't compare the ones, baby girl. And then Karen said, 0 time, you out there doing shit you ain't supposed to do, but I'm supposed to make accommodations. Nah, you got me fucked up. Okay, that's Karen, you know? And then that's when she said, who dates a drug dealer? And Karen, let me tell you, a lot of these young girls date drug dealers because they want that fast money. They want that already 6-figure man, but they ain't worth shit. That's what gets me. Okay, I'm the table. Yeah, bitch, you're the table with 3 legs on it, limping. My bad. Let me not. My bad. Then Grace says, so
Nah,
like
you good.
loyalty,
Rock out. You good, Grace.
so like loyalty is just gone these days, just damn. And you're absolutely right, Grace. Loyalty to nowadays, people don't know, but people know betrayal better than loyalty nowadays.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with you on that.
And then Karen came back and said, really? And then PA, he's still rocking with us. He said, ask Steve Harvey's wife, what's the limit? She was the trap queen her whole life. Okay. And then Karen came back and said, like, you ain't a doctor or a lawyer, an engineer or businessman, legitimate. Not everybody can be legitimate, Karen. Not everybody has the opportunities to be legitimate. You can't just
What
look at
hold on.
trees in the forest.
What is she not
Go ahead and
everybody
unpack
is
that.
legit. Yeah, man, like I don't know what's up with your buddy. So like one, you know, me myself, you know what I'm saying? Chef for 27 years, homeowner. But yeah, no, I definitely have experience on the streets because, you know, once upon a time I lived that life. So I speak on things that I've seen firsthand. You know, I'm not somebody that's just on YouTube just talking. I real deal have been on both sides of the fence. I know what it's like to be a stand-up, upright citizen, just like how I am right now. But I also know what it's like to turn your head and duck every time that you see a police car go by you because you have multiple warrants in different counties and states. I know what that's like. I've been there. So my whole thing is that before we try to discredit people for having certain experiences, do note that everybody has something that they can teach one another. Whatever it is that you might have been through and learned and seen, there are things that you can teach me that I don't know nothing about. And there are things that I can probably teach you that you know nothing about. Thus, each one teach one. We learn from each other. You know what I mean? And so that's the way that I look at life at this point. Okay. So my whole thing with these YouTube spaces, love, just to make it very clear so you know how Smitty rocks out, is if I've never met a person before, if I've never spoken to that person before, I'm only seeing them in a box, or I'm just seeing an icon picture and some words being typed up, I try to be very careful how I view people and speak about them and call them things like crazy and stuff like that, because you just never know who it is you're speaking to and what it is that person may have to offer. So I digress. My mic is muted. I love you guys. Let's continue to rock out, Grace. I'm still here, love.
All righty. So then Grace says, hey man, sometimes you have 3 too many kids and that 9 to 5 don't pay well enough. Men do what needs to be done for them. Okay. And then Karen came back and said, hold on. She said, nah, we good, Misha. And then PA is just not gonna leave me with that comment. He just be hold on, because my comments are not going. He says Grace ain't waiting on you in jail. She got to get what she want when she want it. Absolutely. Ain't waiting on you in jail. She got to get what she want when she want it. Yes. Then she said, bye, Felicia again. Ridiculous, most of us. And Grace said, damn, women are built different these days. They sure are, Grace. The women today are not like the ones from 20, 30 years ago. Then Karen said, what group you got me in? And what group you got me in? And then PA came back. I used to see cats outside the Harris County jail holla at the chicks visiting the guys in jail. Damn, that's some shit. And then
That's some real talk. That is very real. You know what's crazy, Grace? I used to see the COs when I was working, because when I was at the prison, I was able to work detail. So when I worked detail, I was one of them people, I got a pass. I go all over the prison. I used to watch how the COs will holler at dudes' girlfriends when they leaving from a visit to visit their boyfriend or their husband, whoever in the jail. Yeah, so that's a real thing. That is crazy. Yeah,
I don't put it past them. Trust me. And Karen said, for real. Karen came back and said, I've never even driven by a prison. Shit, downtown Fort Lauderdale, there's one. If you didn't been downtown Fort Lauderdale,
I mean,
Karen,
listen, Grace. I mean, if she's never driven by a prison, listen, I would say that is a beautiful thing. That is absolutely wonderful. Listen, to know that we still have people out here that are still so far removed from that, that when people who actually do have a little foot in that or have experience with that, they're not really equipped to even begin to fathom and or relate. That's beautiful. So I would say, hey, sis, whoever raised you, whoever you've been around, whatever your upbringing was, it must have been phenomenal. And I applaud that. And I really wish that more people can have that type of experience in their life, to know that you're so far removed from that you not able to see that there are multifacets and different directions that people can wound up in life. But I digress. My mic is muted. Salute to you, sis. Keep on going. Stay on the right path.
And then Karen said, if you're chilling with a lady doing shit, walk away, man, run. That's easier said than done, baby girl, because if that money coming in, you're going to benefit from that money. And then Grace said, if you truly get my joy from Jesus and not my man, but still I love my man, then I walk it out like Jesus and sacrifice and wait. And since my joy is in Jesus, that won't be a difficult journey. True. And Christy's still rocking with us. She says, I stay faithful. Batteries do work. I hear you. And I can relate. But there comes a time when you need a warm body. Them batteries make you numb. You know what I'm saying? You need the real thing. You know, and then while he's laughing, he cracking up because he said, not the batteries, man. And then Karen said, I walk in Jesus' light. Fuck that, okay? And then hell no, we sign up to live, love, and respect one another. Don't do wrong. But we're not perfect, Karen. Everybody's gonna do wrong.
It's not, that's like, I think that, see, if we lived in a perfect world and everything was right, then it would be different. But that's not the world that we live in, right? That's not what so people are going to do what they're going to do. People are wired differently. And, you know, I think that we just have to do our best to navigate to navigate through what's best for either us or best for us and our loved ones. But I mean, the world out there it's not a nice world, right? And you just got to know how to navigate it the best way. So when you come out on the other end, you come out, you know, a lot better, right? Because you know, it's, you know, there's things that out there that could definitely take, you know, that could bring you down.
You know, my thing is this. You know, one thing I've learned, especially also too in these spaces, you know, it's like this, right? Like even down to okay, cool, and much respect. I bring it. I'm not sure what you bring, but what I do know from what Grace has said, that you all are homies. So I'm pretty sure that you can pull up and you can speak whatever it is that you're saying, because there are a lot of people who would like to hear your perspective and like to hear what you have to say, you know? So, you know, one thing that I try to do is I try to make sure that I guard my tongue, you know, and I try to make sure that I watch, you know, how I speak at certain times. So, I mean, if that's something that, you know, wants to be addressed, I think that the more ideas, the better. Everybody has something to offer and bring to the table. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do. Grace, I love what you got to say, love. Gary, I love what you've been saying tonight. Seriously. I learned a lot from both of y'all tonight. There are quite a few talking points. There are quite a few perspectives and experiences that I had no clue about, that I have not the experience of, that I'm able to take with me now.
And that's
And I thank y'all for that. Yeah, that's why I pull up, man.
A version of ourselves. I told my son today when I interviewed him, because he's going through a long distance relationship, and I interviewed him and I asked him some questions. And just because he's 17, that doesn't mean that I can't learn from him. You know what he said? I said to him, "What's the hardest part about a long distance relationship?" He was like, "The long distance." He was like, "What's the easiest?" He was like, "What's the easiest part?" He was like, "The fact if I get mad at her or upset, I don't have to deal with her in person. I can just not deal with her." And I said, "Well," and then I asked him, "So what about the absence?" And we talk like this. We have a very open relationship here. I'm like, "Well, what about the sex?" He was like, "Mom, it makes you crave it more. Because when you're not seeing them every day, and then when you finally are with them, it's such more satisfying, and you crave them." This is a 17-year-old now, okay? But I knew that he knows about this, because it's very hard for these kids, these two, because they dated for a year. And now, you know what I'm saying? They're apart, and they're trying to deal with it, and they're doing a great job with it, and they're hanging in there like a button.
That is true.
Like a fat man's shirt. They're really trying, and I'm proud of them. But I always tell my son, "Look what happened with me and your father. We dated in high school, we broke up, and then we came back around, got married, we had you." So it is possible. The fact still remains is that some long distance relationship are successful and some not. And again, I'm not discouraging anybody from it. I'm just saying what I think about it and what goes for me. But let's get into this real quick, because we're already hitting our 2-hour mark, and my maximum is 2.5. And just so y'all know, my Knicks lost, so it is what it is. So
I told you that. I told you that, Grace. But okay, all right. I'm glad that you came to that realization. Welcome to the reality.
Well, the score made me realize that. There's still hope. They got to go back to Madison Square Garden now. So you know.
Hey, I'm waiting for that. So we're gonna see what it do. But let's go ahead and rock out before you got to go ahead and log off. So let's go ahead and get this done.
Anyway, communication, effective communication to both feel, be seen and heard. Both people in the relationship need to be on board with committing to and maintaining a relationship, especially when miles separate y'all. It's a good idea to plan regular times to catch up, share your experiences, so both people feel secure in knowing when you'll connect. Using text and FaceTime can facilitate more communication and increase the odds that will make you stay together. Good morning and good night texts are nice to receive. Texting helps long distance relationship by keeping both people in touch. Be sure not to argue over text, and don't rely solely on text, because text don't replace hearing the other person's voice via tone, via phone. Remember, that's what you were saying, Gary? You want to see my reaction. You want to hear the reaction. You want to see all that. And what, you know, nor does it take the place of reading their body language through video conferencing. Quick tips on to enhance your communication when in a long distance relationship. Listen with empathy. Validate your partner. Eliminate defensiveness. Don't avoid difficult conversations. Add levity and try not to be critical. Now, this is the most important one for me, and this is why I cannot deal with long distance relationship. Physical intimacy. Touch is critical to the health and well-being of human beings. Cuddling, holding hands, kissing are ways couples show affection to each other. Oxytocin, the cuddle hormone, it helps bond us to each other in a relationship. So if your partner is living and working on the other side of the country for the sake of your mental health and relationship, be sure to get hugs from friends and family. Book a massage. Physical touch is still super important for your well-being, even if it's not from your partner. One of the most important factors in sustaining a healthy romantic relationship is healthy sex and physical intimacy. Remember the show we did on sexless marriages, Gary?
Yep,
Sex is
yep.
important, ladies and gentlemen. And for y'all women that hold out on coochie onto y'all men, don't be surprised when they cheat on you. How the hell are you gonna cut off a man for 3-6 months and then not expect him to go get it somewhere else? Yo bad. What? And then it says here, so if you can't be together, you can text flirty messages, participate in phone sex, be spontaneous. If you see yourself getting out of your comfort zone a little bit, you might be surprised. You might like it. And lastly, from verywellmind.com, it says relationships fail due to challenges with trust, communication, and intimacy. If you're having issues, turn to a trusted psychologist or online therapist and don't give up. Long distance relationships can thrive if you work together. So you see, ladies and gentlemen, my embracers, it can work, but it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It's more work. And just like one of my coworkers says, it really, she said it and I wrote it down. You have to determine if that person, relationship, and mental health is really worth the effort and work to put in for that person.
Exactly right. I agree with that. I totally agree.
I said, you know, do you mind if I write that down and say it? She was like, no. She said that because she told me about a story where her and her man, they weren't married at the time. They're married now, but they had to separate for 6 months. And she said that 6 months apart actually strengthened their marriage. And then they decided to get married, and now they're married. So again, I'm not here to discourage anybody, but I'm here to let you know the pros and the cons of long distance relationships. It's just not for me. Gary says he doesn't prefer it. I mean, different strokes for different folks. It is what it is. So with that being said, I got one more video I want to show. So give me just a second. Let me show the share screen. Let's see. And okay, hold on. That was just a little snippet.
Okay.
But those are the kids of today. They were talking about this shit. And so one said, one's for me. And the other one said, actually, long distance relationship now, but you have to have a healthy social life. which which means you have an active social life. Now we're treading into some things. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, I got these comments piling up, and I really appreciate you guys, but it would be nice if you guys just come up. But it's okay, not everybody can, it can show their face. But then Karen, Grace says, so how are you actually walking? Oh, I was just reading it. Why are you laughing? It says here, just playing me. Wow, I got a lot. I realize all these comments. So how are you actually walking out that truth like you do? Just expect Jesus to visit you with no interest in moving into his house. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, Grace. Hey, look,
Wow.
right? Like, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's almost because I'm kind of thinking the same thing. Like, even women that say like, Jesus is my man. It's like, no, you're not, because by Christian definition, Jesus is God. You're not married to God. No, God provides and creates and designs and molds a husband for you. See, God gives you every tool as a woman to make it through this life. God provides you with trees for shade and shelter. God provides you with animals for warmth and meat. God provides you with vegetation, right, for herbal healing, as well as fruits and vegetables, right? And God even provides you, yes, men to do all the heavy lifting, to hunt, to build, and things of that nature, right? So it's like, when you keep on saying, oh, no, Jesus is my man. All right, that's cool. But you know what that's like? It's just like the classic little saying, whatever, like the person that's standing on like this cliff top or whatever, and the water's rising. And then you got like a boat that comes by, hey, get in. And they're like, nah, I'm waiting on Jesus. Then you know what I'm saying? Then a helicopter comes by. Now I'm waiting on Jesus. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm talking about. You know that classic one. Right. So it's
Jesus is my doctor. You still need men to help you and do that surgery,
Nah, but see, the thing is this though. A person can type that, right? Now watch this. You can type that right now as we speak. If you go to a restaurant, when the waitresses and the waiters and the host, the hostess, whoever, the cooks and chefs and everybody else and preps and all of them, right? Dishwashers even, salute to the dishwashers, right? You can say, no, Jesus is going to prepare my meal, but guess what? At some point, they're going to just like the people, right? The actual humans on planet Earth, they're going to pick up the phone and they're going to call the police. They're going to be like, yeah, we got a woman that's sitting in here. She seems a little off. She keeps saying that Jesus is going to serve her tonight. We keep asking her, ma'am, what can I bring you? What can I get you? She keeps pushing the menu back, saying that Jesus is going to give me my meal. So, yeah, I mean, we can keep on going off into that world if we want to. But the fact is this. It just really exposes a person's hand, and it shows how much people really are not equipped and or educated enough to speak about our loving creator. Right. And that's just a fact. I mean, because if you knew anything about our loving creator, you would know that our loving creator has provided everything around you while you're here on the physical plane. All of that, everything else, that's for the other side. Right now, you need to deal with here. You need to stay right here. You see? So I will leave it at that. But some people you can't reach. You just gotta leave it alone. Don't bother them. Don't shame them. Ye who cast the first stone, right? I'm not without sin. I have things that I'm not proud of. I don't cast no stones at nobody. But I will speak on certain things. I'll make individuals know I'm aware, I peep, I see it, and that's it. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with speaking on something.
I hear you. I hear you. And then True, he's still rocking with us. He said loyalty is a male term, not a female one. Oh, that was deep. Hold on. Then True came back and said, no womanhood boogers. So yes. And then Wally came back and said, dollar bill, y'all. Okay. And then True said, most drug dealers
Wally
do not
random.
make real money. And you're right, because it's the connects that make the money. So PA Texas still messing with me, talking about embrace the conjugal visits. You stay on that, aren't you? And then I'm a general contract for 21 years in construction. And that's what Karen said. She said she's sick. Then she said, bring it. And she said, good night. And then PA came back and said, nothing wrong with selling a little reefer and a little coochie on the side. There we go. How many drinks you have, PA? You starting to get it. You starting to go there. And then Karen said, I am not insulting. I was upset to not generalize us in a category. That was all. Okay. And then she came back. It's not that hard to do right and walk in Jesus' light and his word. It's not that hard, but when people don't have the same opportunities and the same chances that they did growing up, it is that hard. Karen.
You know what's not that hard? You know what's not that hard, Grace? I'll tell you what's not that hard. You know what's not that hard? You know what's not that hard is to build a house, build a car engine. You know what's not that hard? To design a rocket. That's not that hard. As long as you were taught how to build an engine, design a car, build a rocket. See, the thing is that anything, think of anything that you can do, whether it's sewing, I don't know, play a keyboard, you know, whistle. Think of anything you can do, flip, cartwheel, whatever. You're really good at that. You know how to do that because you have done that and you have been taught it. Think of anything that you don't know. Like Grace, let me ask you this, Grace, right now. Watch this. Perfect example. Boom. We're going to make it simple. Grace, do you know how to build a treehouse?
No.
Okay, now watch this. Very, very simple. Grace, why don't you know how easy it is to build a treehouse?
Because I don't know how to cut wood. I don't know how to measure the dimensions of the tree house. And
because no one showed you, right? Because you haven't been taught. That's just.
I didn't take wood shop. I didn't take shop. I took home economics.
And still, once again, whatever you want to call it, you weren't taught.
Oh.
We only know what we're taught. So anybody that knows anything that they know, it's because of what they were taught and or because of routine. Point blank, period. If you do not practice these things, if you not do these things, then this is something that is not just as, like me, I can rhyme my butt off. I'm real good on paper. I can write, I can put some lyrics together. Not everybody can do what I do. Why? Because most people don't exercise that muscle to be able to write and correspond and put words together and formulate, right? And construct and create. Most people don't have that. So I highlight that. So because I was taught that, because that's something that I continuously do it. Yeah, that's in me.
Perfect.
There you go. Put it there you go. There you go, Grace. Exactly.
I get what you're trying to say. And look at True.
That's it.
Tell your son to leave that girl alone and focus on himself till he's 30. True, trust me. I talked to him about that too, but you already know you was a 17-year-old boy at one time and hormones raging. So I have to deal with what's reality going on, and I have to put him on the straight path as well. We can't make pretend that we weren't 17 and we wasn't doing what we was doing when we were 17. But you best believe, True, you know me well enough to know that I'm on that ass as well. Okay? But I appreciate it. You know, no offense taken. Then Wally here talking shit about the Heat. It's okay, you got that win, but you still ain't gonna go nowhere. Because either the Lakers or Golden State's gonna eat that ass up. So enjoy it. Okay?
No. It's real simple. It's real simple. Wally, the Heat are gay. Get away. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Grace. Rock out.
And then to let me see, at Karen, right? Waste of time for a young man to be trying to date before 30 without anything really to offer a woman. Well, my baby worked. He's been working since he was 14. So yeah, he can't offer her a house or whatever, but he ain't broke like that. And again, I'm going back to reality. Y'all were 17 as well. So it's real easy to talk y'all shit when we older, but y'all remember how we was acting when we were 17. So let's see, I'm not that parent that forgets what I was doing when I was 17 and 16 years old. The realm of reality, these kids are fucking. So I'd rather teach them how to do it right and what not to do and what to do and protect himself rather than put my head in the sand and pretend that it's not happening. So, you know, I can't agree with that, you Karen and True, but it's all good. That's what we're here to all interject at different ideas. Long distance relationships are counterproductive. I would agree with you on that. I think Gary would agree on that with you because we don't see it. And then what PA taught. I don't care if we had sex this morning. If a woman cut me off, I'm going to screw her sister. It's getting there, Gary. It's getting there. I'm done. Wally, media, fuck the Miami, lukewarm. Okay, I can't talk about the sports, guys, because we getting tight on. Okay, so we're gonna wrap it up. Gary, you haven't said something in a while. We heard about trust, communication, discipline. You know, long distance relationship can cause depression. At the end of the day, give me your final thoughts. What do you think about long distance relationship, and would you recommend it to anybody? And again, let us know where we can find you.
So my final thoughts on this topic, and look, this was a great topic. This definitely was a great topic because, I mean, as I was saying earlier, in this new world of social media, long distance relationships practically are the norm now, right? And I feel that, I mean, if you're going to enter, in my opinion, if you're going to enter into a long distance relationship, you want it to be genuine, right? You want to be able to have some type of plan for y'all to come together and live under the same roof, whether it's a year or 2 years, but y'all have to have a plan. Y'all have to be real genuine, which is kind of a hard thing in this social media world. I would have to say that. To me, you know, if it's more than 2 hours by plane, it's not gonna happen. But like I said, I do know people that have successful long distance relationships that have, you know, that has been as far as Australia and Japan, as far as New York to California and stuff. So I do know some successful ones. As I said earlier, two of my good friends, Walter Burks and Tina Burks, they were a long distance couple that just got married, and they're an amazing couple. So it can happen, right? It can happen. You just have to have the right person, and y'all have to work at it, which I think that, you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to do that. So at the end of the day, I would say you have to figure out if a long distance relationship is for you. If you want to put in the time, effort, and energy. You have to also take into account people's trauma, right? So, and I'll end on that. Now, you could find me on The Real Discussion every Fridays from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. We're on YouTube, Facebook, and all the other platforms. I'm also president of Boardwalk Global Media, which we have a few podcasts that come on every week. You could find us on, so Facebook, The Real Discussion, Facebook, Boardwalk Global Media, Instagram, The Real Discussion, Instagram, Boardwalk Global Media, and YouTube, Boardwalk Global Media. And I want to thank Grace again for having me on as a co-host, and it was a wonderful conversation and discussion. And I turn it back over to you, Grace.
Thank you. And Gary, thank you for coming. Like I always say every week, I appreciate y'all support. I got 4 new subscribers during this live, and I really appreciate that. But what I really appreciate is the consistent support. And Gary, that's what you've been about since the beginning of the year, January 1st. I be laughing when you pop up. I'm like, there he is. And you guys don't understand, dependability, male or female, is the biggest turn on, at least for me. When you do something that you say you're gonna do and you consistently do it, you will always have my attention.
I gave you my word.
Crab Cake Carlton, go ahead and give me your final thoughts. And I just want to say thank you. You had great input tonight. I love you on the panel. It was a good talk because we learned from you too, and you allowed yourself to be vulnerable up here and tell your side of the story. And not many men can do that. And I appreciate that. I really do. To me, I look at it. See, a lot of women, this is why men don't open up to women, because when they open up to women, then in the middle of a fight, they want to throw that shit in their face. Oh, but why you don't talk to me? They don't talk to us because we throw the things in their face. To me, that's a compliment. The fact that you felt safe enough to open up yourself on my live, I appreciate that, and I see you for that. So go ahead and give me your final thoughts and tell people where we can find you.
All right. Well, I thank you. I thank you again, Grace, for allowing me to be up on your panel and stuff like that. Thank you for inviting me up. This was really nice. You can find me again on IG. You can find me at County King. County is spelled with a K. King, no space. On social media, Facebook, you can find me at Smitty's Corner. Just type it in. On YouTube, you can find me at Smitty's Corner. All right. And you can also find me every Friday on the live panel on the JVJ network. All right. And other than that, I digress. My mic is muted. This has been wonderful. And I thank you for having me.
When you say that. That is your thing right there. I love it. Okay, so as for me, look, embracers, relationships are hard enough. I personally think, at least for myself, and that at my age and what I've experienced in my young adult life, it's not for me because of the type of woman that I know I am, how I move as a woman. And 3 hours, I have here 3 hours is the max that will be feasible for me. Not out of the country, not out of state. As one of my co-workers said, and I'm gonna bring it up again, you have to determine if that person, relationship, and your mental health is really worth the effort and work to put in the time for that relationship. And I hope that you guys leave. Is that person worth it to be in that long distance relationship? You guys, you can find me here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp. I do want to let you know, my embracers, that my show will be moving from Mondays to Sundays starting June 3rd. So I need to get you guys to wrap that around your head. I will be moving from Monday nights to Sunday nights. My work schedule is changing in June, and I will be working late on Monday nights, and I'm not going to ask Gary to come up here at 9 to 11. That's just not going to happen after me working a 10-hour shift. So we go into Sunday nights. Okay, so that'll be on June 3rd, and I'll be repeating it and letting you guys know. I'm gonna have a flyer out to remind you guys, embrace the grace. Huh? What was that, Gary?
A flyer is coming. Flyer is coming.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to, I'm gonna have to send you, so you can put Global Media on my StreamYard. So when I go live, it's also going live on Global Media. We can do that.
Okay.
So your subscribers can see, you understand? So we can build, but I have to I'll send you the invite. So cool. We got a flyer coming out. So guys, just stay tuned. We're going to continue to have these hot topics. We're going to continue to have these good conversations because they're necessary. So you guys have a good night. Thank you for coming out. Gary, again, thank you for coming out, guys. On your way out, if you didn't press the like button, please press the like button. You're welcome to drop a Cash App. I didn't bet no money on the Knicks game because I don't bet with my heart. I know the realm of reality. All right, so you guys have a good night. Peace. Gary, take care, my dear. I'll talk to you soon. We always cover the shows. Take care.